All right.
We good?
We are good.
I guess I'm still getting used to this.
It is something to get used to, the tech, right? I mean, the technology. The technology is something to get used to.
Well, first of all, I want to introduce, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Today we're down here for the Edison Now podcast at the Edison Municipal Building. There was a pro-police rally today. It was a very good turnout. It's still going on currently.
Yes.
It's basically to support our local police department here in Edison and all local police departments.
Oh, absolutely. It's a beautiful day to get together and to support our men and women in blue. You know, they need our support now more than ever. And we got a great little rally right here today. Great spirit, great people for a great event.
And listen, they were nice enough to allow us to podcast underneath the overhead here in underneath the municipal building. And we have a few special guests that stopped by today to support our local police. And our first guest that is up is, and we appreciate him coming out, is Rik Mehta. He's running for U.S. Senate against Cory Booker. And Rik, thank you for joining us.
Hey, gentlemen, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's my pleasure to be here supporting our law enforcement officers.
Rik, tell us, for folks that may not know you, to give us a little background about yourself and where you're from and why you're running for U.S. Senate.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I'm Dr. Rik Mehta. I'm a Republican running for United States Senate against Cory Booker. Look, my story started 50 years ago when my father first immigrated here through the legal process. He came here with nothing. He had $100 in his pocket. He flew into JFK. He took the bus to Scranton, Pennsylvania. He opened up the phone book, looked for an Indian-sounding name, called them. They took him in, gave him a hot meal and a roof over his head. And that's how our story got started in this country. And I'm so blessed to be an American, to be a first generation, for all that this country has given me. You know, we started from humble beginnings and hard work and the belief that the American dream is available to anyone willing to chase it, and chase it is exactly what I did. Middlesex is where a lot of my roots came from. I went to Rutgers University. I went to pharmacy school, practiced at Robert Wood Johnson for many years. My wife and my father-in-law, mother-in-law had a business on Oak Tree Row. They live in near the Edison area for many years. That's where I met my wife at Rutgers University. In fact, we got married there. Oh, nice. And then I worked at the hospital. I worked overnights and put myself through law school. Went to Rutgers Law in Newark.
Did we lose him?
Oh.
Is this on again?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay,
it's on.
good.
It's on.
Yeah. Maybe the microphone doesn't like Rutgers. I don't know. But
No. I'm a Rutgers guy. I'm a Rutgers guy. I'm a Rutgers alum. It likes Rutgers. I can tell you that.
So.
Well, actually, it could be a battery problem.
Yeah.
It could be a battery problem.
Okay.
What we could actually do is I'll give him this one.
Okay. Hold on, folks. We took this podcast on the road, so we are. And
here we go.
There we go. We'll get that one fixed up for him.
All right. We're back in business.
So you are you're Rutgers alum.
Rutgers alum, pharmacy, law. I put myself through law school. I worked overnights at the hospital. And from there, I went to the FDA. In fact, I started as a pharmacist and a compliance officer with the FDA, fighting against unapproved drugs, illegal opioids on our shelves. So I know the hard work that goes in, and being a law enforcement officer, fighting so hard to serve tirelessly and often without, much thanks. It's a thankless job, and the men and women that do it, God bless them for doing it, and I'm here to support that.
Has your opponent that you're aware of have been at any of these types of rallies?
No, in fact, I think Cory Booker is more comfortable at the defund police rallies. It's really remarkable the kind of rhetoric that's going on in our society. And most Americans, look, if he spent more time in New Jersey, he would know. Mm-hmm. Most of us that live in Jersey, we just want to raise our family. My wife and I are married. We have 3 kids. We're concerned about whether schools are going to be opening up. We're concerned about where our paycheck's going to come. That's the things that people are focused on, especially in the Edison area. Look, a lot of us are immigrants. We have small businesses. And right now with this pandemic, and I think a tone-deaf governor who doesn't seem to understand the science before instituting certain restrictions on us, that has crushed our economy. Cory Booker is, 2 peas in a pod with Governor Murphy. And this is what I think is very disappointing because they don't understand. They're so far removed from everyday New Jerseyans. Right. Most of us just want a safe and secure society, protect our constitutional rights. Of course, everyone wants to feel safe from the pandemic, but we also want to know where our next paycheck is coming from and how we can continue to work hard and build our businesses and live in a free and safe society. The rhetoric around defunding the police is very bizarre to me. This is no one is denying the horrific murder of George Floyd, but to take it to certain extremes that are creating, chaos and instability. And rather than saying, well, you know what, let's quench the problem. Let's talk about ways to create solutions so we can move past the same racial rhetoric that we had in 1967 in Newark during the racial riots.
Right.
I mean, it's been 70 years. Can we start to move past that now? So that's why you need a U.S. Senator who's not tone deaf to what people want, the interest of New Jerseyans, the ones that are going, a legislator that's going to be going to Washington to fight for family values and common sense legislation. Now, I'll tell you one last thing. Now, Cory Booker, he's missed more than 65% of the votes, okay?
65%.
65% of the votes he missed, more than any other senator or congressperson. So, look, he's not interested in doing his job. He didn't do his job when he was mayor. Now he's became a U.S. senator, didn't do his job, ran for president, had a fail. And let's not forget, he ran for president. Junior senator, never finished his first term, decides to run for president, failed at that, got less than 1%, came back, and now is saying, you know what? Elect me for U.S. Senate so I can go back to doing nothing.
Hey, listen, the last when he ran, I have Newark roots myself. My father still lives in Newark, and when he was the mayor there, I don't know the accomplishments that he had. That to this day, it feels like that Newark it's a war zone in terms of drugs and stuff like that. And I think I don't see the success that he had in Newark. And I think there's a misconception. I think Booker was, in my humble my opinion, was a disaster as a mayor.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and look, before the pandemic hit, it's not like Newark was short-changed of its issues with public health. You want to talk about leadership. He led Newark into poverty. He led Newark, and we were talking about 30% poverty rates. We're talking about marginalized minorities and people of color who can't achieve educational success. They're trapped in failing schools. Okay, and let's not forget, there was a lead water crisis of which he was responsible for, the Watershed Commission. And so now with the pandemic, people are saying, well, the public health issue of the day is the coronavirus. But you know what? Lead contamination is a continuous problem of which it's an issue that could have been fixed under his watch.
Absolutely. You support the police. Give people that want to reach out to you and maybe get involved in a campaign. How can they reach you?
Yep.
Email, website?
Absolutely.
What do you got?
Well, let me tell you something. So my campaign is focused on one basic principle: make New Jersey a place to live, not leave. Right. Before this pandemic, 44% of people have considered moving out of the state. Two top reasons: crushing property taxes and corruption. I'm not a career politician. I'm driving towards transparency in our government. As an attorney and a law professor, as a former public health official, I know what it's going to take to fix our economy, to placate people into feeling safe again and secure, getting past my background in drug development, bringing our medical manufacturing back to New Jersey when double those manufacturing firms opened up in China and all of them shuttered here in New Jersey. I'll tell you, go to RikForNJ, RikForNJ.com. Follow me. Go on Facebook. Reach out. My campaign slogan is Jersey Proud. Simple. Go to JerseyProud.com and you'll find me because I'm proud to be in Jersey. People in New Jersey are proud people. We want to get our state back to the way it was, reduce our property taxes so that everyone can achieve generational success. Amen. It's time to put our children first. So, gentlemen, thanks.
Right. No, Rik, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to sit down and speak with us. And pharmaceutical manufacturing is a big one.
We lost all our jobs. We could bring hundreds of thousands of jobs. Go to my Made in America Medicines campaign. Look, we live in a global society, and yet our children can't even compete at a global level, right? It's time we put America first. It's time we bring those manufacturing jobs back to Jersey where it all started. Medical innovation, bring good-paying jobs back, support our small businesses. These are the things that people want. These are the policies that for 6 years Cory Booker didn't work on. And
listen, it's coming really unaffordable to live here in this state. I mean, I look at the hardworking New Jerseyans. I mean, people are trying to flood out of here.
It's correct me if I'm not mistaken, it's a net loss, right? We have a net loss of people every year, and for the same reasons, right? They're not new reasons. They are recurring instances of what people have been saying for a long time.
I think it's bubbling up to a precipice, and I think people are just tired. In the pandemic, if anything, right now our unemployment rate has been the highest it's ever been in many, many years. Many years, right? We understand the pandemic, but there's no steps being put in place to start to resolve that. There's a borrowing bill that the governor's that's going to just drive our debt down. And I'll tell you right now, we lose more money to the federal level in taxes than we ever get back. Less than 70 cents to a dollar. New Jersey is the worst in the state. And 2 U.S. senators that could be fighting, Bob Menendez, Cory Booker, never did anything. Okay. And now we need the money, and where is it? Yeah. Nothing to show. 4 counties in the first stimulus bill got shortchanged when they had higher cases of corona than most of the states that got millions of dollars. So who's fighting for New Jersey? Right. It's a time for change.
Yeah. Hey, and this is me for the unions, because the unions, listen, they're usually supporting one party. Yeah. And if you just listen to Rik right now, and you know who's going to be fighting for you, which person is going to be fighting for you, and I encourage these unions to think twice before you start giving the money to the same type of candidates that do nothing. They legitimately go down to Washington. I don't know what they do. I don't know what the point of having Cory Booker there.
If they're supposed to go down there and fight for funds, they're not doing their job. And I'll tell you, when my father and my mother, my parents, they met at Temple University, probably one of the first Indian couples to get married in the United States in Philadelphia. A great story, by the way, maybe for another day. But we had 2 options growing up. Okay, either work hard, and they both work 2 jobs, or end up in poverty. Fight to get in the middle class or end up in poverty. That's all we had. Now, my sister, she's one of the top pediatricians. I'm a pharmacist attorney running for United States Senate. We've achieved the American dream. I'm so fortunate, blessed, and proud to be able to do that. No other country in the world would you ever be able to do that than America. And that's why, I want to be the one to fight so hard for everyone to be able to achieve that American dream. It's not going to be handouts, it's going to be hard work. And that's the only way we're going to rebuild our economy here in New Jersey. So I'm the guy that's going to help guide that ship now next.
Excellent.
We appreciate it. Give your website one more time again.
It's rikfornj.com, RIKFORNJ.com. Reach out to our campaign line, 908-373-5800. Reach out, volunteer. If you love Jersey and you're Jersey proud, vote for Rik Mehta and reach out and get involved.
All right, Rik. Thank you very much. That's Rik Mehta. And I'm going to go and grab Keith, my next guest. And I want to thank Rik again.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, Rik.
I'll be right back.